Alright, so I'm doing another video on another book now and moving into another subject, because part of what I'm doing is I'm going through, like, I'm starting off a little bit from each book to hit all the subjects up in all the 270 different books that they have, so that somebody that is getting access to what I'm talking about is able to be able to kind of see further more into what they're getting into. Because once I found the Illuminati, I just started taking in a lot of information on a lot of different subjects, which are covered in these books. And all these different terms, these new terms that I'm hearing, meritocracy, social national capitalism, the angelism, the new sphere, just all of these different, like, I have never heard so many new terms through anything that I've ever written, or everything I've ever wrote or read. But so that's what I'm doing with all these videos, with going through each one of the books, and a little bit at each time, so people can get a little taste into each subject of the grand unified theory. And this book that I'm getting into now is called The Omega Point. And the Omega Point, I found out about this term, and it is the point that we are evolving back through dialectical evolution, and what is called I'm trying to remember all the but it is through the dialectic. And the Illuminati, like, effortlessly explain how we are, how that's what's happening, is we're getting closer to God, and that's inevitable because we're going back to God, because there was the Big Bang, and then there's the Big Crunch, where everything returns back to God. And that's one thing about the Big Bang, is science says that it just came out of nothing. Like, that's the big miracle that is all behind science, is it just came out of nothing. But it actually didn't come out of nothing. It came out from an immaterial, dimensionless singularity. And that explains what the universe is, which is, black holes are linked with that, and, like, the creations of universes. And the Illuminati explain how black holes are minds. They are dimensionless singularities, that are actually creating matter. So every soul is a mind that is creating, like, a universe, and that makes up the collective universe that we experience. And we have the ability to affect matter, and that's the whole thing that's going on here with what the Illuminati do with explaining the grand unified theory of everything, and linking worlds of mind and matter, proving the world of mind. What's unacknowledged, what's unseen, ungraspable, unknowable. The world that science doesn't go into, the Illuminati definitely go into and explain. And so that's what you find when you find the Enlightenment. So I'm gonna start reading off in this book, because this explains what the Omega Point is, which is very, very important to understand on how we are going back to God, how we are evolving into God. It's like in this universe is a God factory, to make creators, and for there to be free will for creation, so that's the part of the Great Awakening. And the explanation of the Omega Point definitely is a term that is an illuminatist term, which is behind illumination. But these terms are something that you have to learn to understand the secret religion of illumination, and then so we can be enlightened, get evolved, experience a quantum leap in the expansion of our consciousness, and graduate to the next level, because that's what we're inevitably going to do anyways. So it's just it does depend on us on when we graduate to the next level, and the collective has to commonly agree upon a paradigm for it to be accepted, which the common paradigm now is science and religion and the economic free market Zionist capitalism, which is all the paradigm of the old world order. But there definitely is a new paradigm, and that is actually what the truth is, and that that truth is the foundation of that is that we are God, and we are becoming God. And then once you become God, you can be God and be a creator of the universe. And then that's why the Illuminati wrote a book called How to Create the Universe. I mean, all these titles are exactly explanation of the books, and they're a reason why they're writing these books, to explain everything about the nature of reality. And that's what the grand unified theory of everything is because once that is discovered, it will lead to a new understanding and new possibilities, because and that's actually what the Nobel Peace Prize is really actually looking for, is the grand unified theory of everything. And so, and that was the question too, is like, once that is discovered, is that the end? Because it's like, once a common collective agrees upon the grand unified theory, like that will bring peace. And then that is actually just the beginning. So this is from the Omega Point. Quotations. What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. T.S. Eliot. And like all of the Illuminati's work are made up of the greatest works that there's ever been, because they quote every single great person of all time. Because they're not only explaining everything, but they're getting you to think yourself. And the whole thing about that first quote is, there's a reason why the Ouroboros is an important symbol, with the snake eating its tail, and the end is the beginning. And that's actually what I discovered with my whole book, the culmination of me finding the Illuminati. And that's why I wrote the Ouroboros symbol, because the end, which was me discovering the enlightened ones, was just the beginning, and now I'm in I found them, and now I'm in to learning what they know. Once you see the boundaries of your environment, they are no longer the boundaries of your environment. And that's once you get to an enlightened enough state, and you are seeing the boundaries, the limitations, things that people have put on you, things that society has put on you, then you realize that those are only, and then things you've put on yourself, like and just like Bruce Lee said, like they're just boundaries you put on yourself, and there actually are no boundaries. And that is actually what the Illuminati have endeavored to be bringing to light in all of these teachings. I seldom end up where I wanted to go, but almost always end up where I need to be. Douglas Adams. And this is all just wisdom, because it's talking about life. Great people talking about life, about where you think it's not where you wanted to go, but it's where you needed to be. And that's a really important revelation, because where you are is the right path. It's where you need to be. It's for your evolution, for you to get to go to the next level, for everybody to become God. Creators of reality. There are limits to the dimensions of fear until one meets the unknown. The terror has no boundaries, no walls to keep it contained. Carl Hedges. And that's just talking about the unknown and the dimension of fear. And it's fear is something that exists, and it usually is behind like the unknown, not knowing what is known. But that's the way you conquer fear, is making known the unknown, like courageously, and with determination, and hope and inspiration. So you'll never find your limits until you've gone too far. And just like today in this enlightenment process, sometimes you get pushed to the limit, of what you can handle, and it's caused by, it is caused by things outside of you, but it does make you go through an internal change, and then you go to the next level, because you've been pushed too far. So that's actually the nature of evolution. The decay of inquiry stems from some belief that suppresses curiosity. Brandon A. Trim. And for this one, it's like, this is saying the belief that suppresses curiosity. The decay of inquiry stems from some belief that suppresses curiosity. So that's saying the minimalization of what you like are at questioning stems from the belief that suppresses curiosity. So that quote is saying, these are so good. The decay of inquiry means like the you not wanting to question things stems from the belief that suppresses curiosity. So you not being curious is what decays you questioning things. And questioning authority is the beginning of freedom. History in general is therefore the development of spirit in time, as nature is the development of the idea in space. So this one is saying, like it's the development of spirit in time. That's what history is. And nature is the development of the idea in space, like the nature, which is evolution. Like the idea of space, of evolution, which is what meaningful, purposeful evolution, which is what the purpose of the universe is, which is what like science and Darwinian evolution don't say. They say like there is no purpose to evolution and there is no like spiritual meaning behind it, and the Illuminati get into that. But there is a purposeful meaning, and it is for our like rising into being gods and divinity, and actually more than man, more than flesh and blood, like creators and not slaves, mindless slaves that cannot think for themselves, because thinking is the foundation of freedom. So we are finite in that we are a product and source of the infinite. Oh man, and the whole thing about infinity, actually, the Illuminati explain about infinity, and how you reach a certain point, an omega point, and then it collapses, and then it rebuilds itself, into an eternal recurrence, which is what infinity is all about, like creation, destruction, all of that. And the Illuminati explain it way better than I'm even able to explain, but I kind of grasp what and how the finite is contained in the infinite. And like consciousness is the never-ending story, because it doesn't end. Like I don't remember like not having consciousness. I remember past lives, dreams, our future lives. I know that life goes on. So and this body and life that I have is just one that I've had of many. So, and I'm reincarnated into this body, doing the work, the great work that I had, that unfinished business from past lives, which was obviously to spread the great work, as knowledge into this world, so that this world could be free, and we could experience and merge with the divine. I mean that gods do not limit men. Men limit men. Tom Robbins. And so that's just like it's saying, like we limit ourselves on what we can do. And by we're limiting ourselves by what we can do because we're being mind controlled about who we are, what we're capable of. The environment that we're in is definitely not so much. Actually, it is for our greatest good, but it's evolving us. And we allowed it to get this way because we allow people to trample on us. We allow the malignant narcissists and stuff to, control us, and that's that we're in the age of that ending, and people getting back their power, questioning authority, and people coming together, and under different ways, ideas, thoughts, and stuff like that, which is all the different religions, political movements, ways of thought, philosophical movements. Like, it's so divided, but Illumination and the Illuminati are actually the one thing that brings everything together, and they explain that through the grand unified theory of everything. And that's why that's why this is the most important information that there is. The sky is not my limit. I am. T.F. Hodge. That is a powerful one, though, because everybody's like, the sky's the limit. But then they're saying, I am. Like, I am the limit. I am that's some high level thinking, though, because conquering yourself is what we're here to do. You know, understanding like the inside, there's inside and outside, and then conquering the unseeable, ungraspable, unknowable, you know, the secrets, the mysteries is what it's all about, because then you get the access to the knowledge of God. Like that's what the Illuminati are doing, that they're hacking the mind of God and breaking the firewalls, breaking through all the archives and the Demiurge and all of these things that are keeping people from God. Like that's what the Illuminati are doing, and they're going to the furthest extents of intellectual capacities to understand the nature of reality, and that they are a secret society that is definitely in a league of their own. But they have written these books, and this is part of my whole hero's journey, was finding the Illuminati and then getting this information out, because it is the grand unified theory of everything. And the discovery of the grand unified theory of everything will change everything, and a new paradigm will be brought into this world. So this work needs to get to the Nobel Peace Laureate. And that's actually part of what I'm doing with writing my next book. That's what I'm working on, because once you have solved everything, once you know the answer to everything, there's no more questions. But then when there's no more questions, you actually there is no end to the questions. So alright, I'm at 23 minutes. So I'm going to start in this first chapter and get this information out, because here we go. Chapter 1, The Strange Attractor. Is the universe being pulled towards a final climactic point, the culmination of everything? Big Bang Theory says that the universe arose from a single dimensionless point. Will it return to that same point? Jesuit paleontologist Pierre Teilhard de Chardin famously claimed that the universe has an omega point, God as we might say, that's pulling all of creation towards it at some point in the future. Creation will merge with the omega point and all will be God. For Teilhard de Chardin, creation came from God and will return to God. So right there, this is talking about a Jesuit priest, Pierre de Chardin, talking about the omega point in the universe, and the universe being pulled towards a final climactic point, which is the culmination of everything, which is God, which is God. What we all know and believe to be God, because all paths lead to one God, which is the purpose of the pyramid. And that's what this Jesuit priest understood, and that we will return to God with the Big Bang and the big crunch. That's what science is not talking about, is the big crunch, which the Illuminati do talk about. But their paradigm, their secret society, because they talk about how Newton's paradigm was accepted, to further science and religion and stuff, and like Leibniz, Gottfried Leibniz, who actually figured out the grand unified theory of everything, which actually contains the numbers of 0 and infinity, which contain imaginary numbers in it. That was not accepted by the church, by the common power. So, but that actually was the explanation of everything. So, Teilhard de Chardin was suspected of heresy by the Catholic Church, and many of his writings were suppressed until after his death. What's certain is that he was a heretic, and ironically, if the Catholic Church wants to have any kind of future, it ought to embrace his heresy. Meaning, like, they're saying that he was a heretic, a Jesuit heretic, obviously in the secret societies, knew about, like, the truth, the Omega Point. His writings were suppressed by the Catholic Church. So the Illuminati are bringing light to Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, because ideas are the most important thing, and there is one thing that is more powerful than all the armies of the world, and that is an idea whose time has come, and that is Victor Hugo in the Future of Man. So these ideas are very important for people to know about, so they can start being like, oh, an Omega Point, that makes sense, and then start questioning things, and then so that's why I'm so adamant on getting this information out, and I'm not going to stop though, because this is the key to the actual true religion of illumination, and becoming God, and being able to create a whole new reality for the greater good. Teilhard de Chardin's ideas were so radical because he was rejecting the ancient creationist view of Christianity and replacing it with a modern evolutionary view. That said, Teilhard de Chardin was no Darwinist, and he rejected outright the scientific materialist notion that the universe is evolving purposely towards the grim heat death predicted by the second law of thermodynamics. So this is talking about, his ideas were so radical because he was rejecting the ancient creation view of Christianity and replacing with a modern evolutionary view that opposed Darwin, because Darwin says everything's evolving, but there's no purpose behind it. It's just like a scientific mathematical robot that's not imbued by mind or spirit or anything like soul or anything like that. So that's what Darwin's theory is about. But Teilhard de Chardin obviously thought different, because the Omega Point is that saying that we are going back to what we came from, what we fell from, what we came from. And I know that because I feel it in the whole actual great year, the whole shift. I feel the shift in like the 13,000 years of darkness into the 13,000 years of light. I feel that this is the shift, like, and actually they say that this is the shift. So I mean, I know we're gonna wake up to the truth, which is that we're returning to God, which is perfection, and that the universe is perfection because it's mathematical, and everything that works out, the wind, water, fire, it's all made of mathematics, and it does work out. That's the only way, and it is perfection. That's the only way we can experience reality, is because it's perfectly constructed, and that is actually coming from our minds, which is coming from outside of space and time, creating matter. because our thoughts matter literally. Instead, Teilhard de Chardin was a leading advocate of a version of orthogenesis, which Wikipedia defines as orthogenesis, orthogenetic evolution, progressive evolution, or autogenesis, is the hypothesis that life has an innate tendency to evolve in an unlinear fashion due to some internal or external driving force. The hypothesis is based on essentialism and cosmic teleology and proposes an intrinsic drive which slowly transforms species. George Gaylord Simpson, 1953, in an attack on orthogenesis, called this mechanism the mysterious inner force. Classic proponents of orthogenesis have rejected the theory of natural selection as the organizing mechanism in evolution, and theories of speciation for a rectilinear model of guided evolution acting on discrete species with essences. So basically what orthogenesis is saying is, it's explaining how things are evolving in a non-linear fashion, which explains the non-linear nature of time, which is how time works. Like, there's a pulling towards something, not like a big bang and we're going into like nowhere and stuff. There's a pulling towards something, and I felt that pulling, and that is the return back to God, back to Creator, back to everything being the perfection that it is. Like, everyone's minds creating, it's achieving their optimal, maximal, point, and understand, brains being fully awakened. Like, that's what the old world order we're trying to keep people from doing, but I'm one of the ones that escaped. So I'm leading people just like the Illuminati led me, you know what I'm saying? Because they explained, they're like the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar in the Matrix. That's who the Illuminati are. They're the ones doing the freedom fight, calling the people back that are contained in the Matrix, getting Neos to wake up and then fight the fight for freedom. Like, that's who the Illuminati are. And like Morpheus and the whole crew, it's actually real, and I am definitely fighting the fight for freedom. So, that's explaining orthogenesis, the non-linear nature of evolution, which is definitely something I see as happening, which lets you know we're going back to God. We're not going into some, it looks like the world right now is, you could say, in chaos. It's bad and stuff, but then if you know the truth, that all this leads to us going back to God and everything being, because out of chaos comes order, because that's actually the motto of the 33rd degree, which is out of chaos comes order. And that's what I actually understood with, and the whole 33rd degree is about understanding the nature of universe, like understanding the purpose of reality, like the nature of existence, all of that. And that's why my book is, my next book I called I Will Fight No More Forever. The first chapter is called The 33rd Degree, because I'm explaining what the 33rd degree is, and the purpose for the double eagle, which means like you're the master of two worlds, the spiritual and physical world, and which is what Neo becomes, when he becomes the one. So this is all like Gnosticism and illumination, and it is a secret religion, but you have to be able to, get past all of the archons of the deluge, and all the systems of belief, and all the different organizations and groups and stuff that hold their belief, because really they all are cults. And you could even say the Illuminati is a cult, but it's not. It's a cult that holds the actual truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I've discovered, because I'm not part of any actual organization except for the secret society of the Illuminati, that, you know, they even say not by land or by sea will you find the Illuminati. You know, will you find the Hyperboreans? Which, you know, Pindar said that, who was a great poet of the Greek times. But it's by mind, and they're a secret society of the mind, and that's why they call themselves the Dream Seeker Society. So, you know, I'm just trying to get all this information out. It's a lot of information, and I'm connecting it all. But it is my hope that I can get other people to become lights and then lights in the world, because that's how we change the world, is by minds being enlightened of both the darkness, because there is the darkness, there's the bad, the old world order, what they've done, the elite dynastic family, you know what I'm saying, you know, doing bad things, you know, I'm you know, keeping my words clean, because I got a strike because I mentioned something earlier about something, so I'm not going to say anything, because this video is very important. But they're doing bad things, but there are also there's also the good and the light, and that's what I've always been focused on, you know, in my journey. So, all right. It's crucial to understand that theories of evolution come in two radical different flavors. One purposeful and purposeless. Which, you know, right there they say the Illuminati's theory of everything, evolution, is purposeful. You know what I'm saying? Mathematically, it explains mathematically, but you know, scientifically, mathematically, but includes psychology, religion, spirituality, you know, economics, politics, all in it. But a purposeless theory is, you know, with Darwinism in science. Basically, it's like, you know, everything's a machine, and it doesn't have any actual, you know, like, it's like AI, is what they're saying. That Darwinian evolution is basically saying evolution is AI. Like, what this is AI, but it's not AI. It's that's actually why it's organic intelligence. It's OI. And that's the difference between the Illuminati's theory of everything in evolution and the Darwinian evolution of scientific materialism. Is the Illuminati's theory of everything explains organic intelligence, and Darwinian evolution actually promotes artificial intelligence. So, Aristotle was the first great advocate of purposeful teleological evolution, with God acting as the first and final cause of evolution, and everything seeking, in some sense, to become more like God and closer to God, giving rise to a great chain of being, stretching all the way up to God, the divine terminus. Aristotle's rational God was thus the original omega point, with the final Aristotelian world looking highly designed and static, hence, as Catholicism recognized, resembling a product of divine creation rather than evolution. 2,000 years later, Leibniz, in his published Monadology, conceived of a divinely programmed universe converging on perfection, the best of all possible worlds. In his secret writings, Leibniz contemplated a free universe without a creator God, mathematically converging on perfection, the limit of the process of evolution, and in doing so, creating infinite gods. So this right here, what this is it's saying is, you know, like through Aristotle, which, you know, it can part of, he wasn't in the Illuminati, but the Illuminati, obviously he was a product of the Illuminati, but he is saying, you know, purposeful, which is teleological evolution. That means it has a purpose, you know, and Aristotle was the one that came up with that. And we're returning to the divine terminus, which is the great chain of being, and this ladder that goes back up to God, which is the Omega point. And this goes against, obviously all what Catholicism and how much battery do I have left? I don't have very much battery left. Actually, I do. I have no. How much time? 41 minutes. All right. So this is like there are actually cults right now that are talking about illumination. Like, there's actually one person named Morg. He's created a YouTube channel. He's got a following, but he's actually copying the Pythagorean Illuminati's teaching and actually creating a whole movement called Neo-Genian, the Neo-Genian movement, and all that. But he's actually copying the Pythagorean Illuminati's teachings. And the Illuminati actually wrote a whole book on him too, and how he's doing that. So be careful of Morg, and because he is explaining Gnosis, and actually everything that he has is legit information, but he's like doing his own spin on it, because he's adding a woke factor to the Pythagorean Illuminati's teachings. So Morg, you have to look out for Morg, Morg Official is his channel. That is a cult that's created off of the Pythagorean Illuminati's teachings. So, because that's what this is getting into, because this is really actually getting into the secret religion of Illuminati, which definitely leads you back to God, which is definitely the point of all of this. So, talks about secret writings of Leibniz, talking about converging, a divinely programmed universe converging on perfection, the best of all possible worlds. This is what I believed. You know what I'm saying? I don't even believe it. I know it. There's no doubt in my mind since I found the Illuminati. Because even I'm using quotes now of things I'm seeing, because it's not even it's not so much what you believe, it's how hard you believe it, which is actually in the new Indiana Jones movie and the Dial of Destiny. But so I'm I know we're going back to God, the Creator. And the Creator is you think something and it happens. And that's actually what the ancients knew. That's how they were able to. That's why they were advanced. It was because they knew their connection to God, which is what this society has gotten away from. But secret societies obviously remember and know and hold the knowledge of. Talking about how this is the mathematically converging on perfection universe. The limit of the process of evolution, and doing so creating infinite gods. That's what this universe is. Creating infinite gods. This is the plane of demonstration of creation. What are we creating to create universes? And then getting the schooling of creating the most perfect universe through the process of reincarnation. And obviously some souls are further along the line than others, because there are people above where there are beings that I've obviously way above me, because knowing your process, your place in the hierarchy is actually part of the mysteries, knowing where you're at, and I know that I'm where I'm at, and I'm ahead of some people, but there are definitely other people and beings that are way the fuck ahead of me. So I respect that. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck imagined an organism moving up a chain of being, or ladder of progress. Everything was becoming more complex and exhibited an intrinsic drive towards perfection. Lamarck advocated an evolutionary process in which organisms actively adapted to their environment, and their offspring inherited these acquired characteristics. That explains what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That explains evolution, because it's saying we're going up this divine ladder. You know what I'm saying? We're actively adapting to our environment, and our offspring are going to inherit the acquired characteristics of what we adapted through the environment. So it is how we are, you know, and how we adapt through evolution that determines the next generation. Hegel introduced the notion of a rational universe dialectically converging on an absolute condition, rational cosmic perfection, a completely self-aware universe knowing exactly what it was and how it came to be. So that's pretty important there too, because Hegel, who was a Grand Master of the Illuminati, is pretty much introducing the notion of a rational universe dialectically converging on absolute condition of perfection, when the universe knows exactly what it is and how it came to be. And that is like enlightenment right there, which is what we're all going for here. So the Illuminati had been enlightened. Teilhard de Chardin's evolutionary scheme belongs to this tradition. However, instead of Aristotle's rational God, he conceived of a theistic Christian God, drawing all souls towards him through perfect love, where conventional Christianity is static and creationist, with a permanent infinite gulf between God and the souls he created. Teilhard de Chardin's Christianity is evolutionary and is all about bridging the gap between man and God. This is blatant heresy in terms of Catholic Church, but it's an enormously superior Christian vision. So this is, it's talking about de Chardin's, attempt to bridge the gap between God, which is all about the merge between mind and matter and everything like that, which, actually other religions say that is unbridgeable. It's unknowable. You cannot even fathom, God, but Illumination is saying that you can bridge the gap. You know what I'm saying? And so Chardin was actually different than Aristotle, because he was a Christian, and Christianity is saying they're using love, basically instead of rationalism, which is what Aristotle used to explain his dialectic, explanation of the dialectic, which is evolving through evolution. Tragically, none of the old religions has any capacity to change. They're all locked into the past. They need to evolve if they're to be relevant in the modern world. But evolution is the one thing beyond all of them, so their doom is certain. The only thing keeping them going is the immense brainwashing operation they have been conducting for millennia, indoctrinating babies and keeping them in the grips of religious fanaticism all of their lives. Without their sinister mechanisms of control over the simple-minded, these religions would have perished long ago. So this is talking about how, none of the old religions have the capacity to change. They're locked into the past. They need to evolve, but they're bound for destruction, because evolution is the only thing that's inevitable. That's why all the systems are following, is because consciousness is evolving. And the only reason why they have they're still going is because of the brainwashing for millennia. Thousands of years of brainwashing is why these things are still going. These beliefs are still believed, but they are falling, getting questioned. And there are the champions of truth, the lights in the world that are holding the truth, that are the vanguards, and the into a new world, because we have had the courage to believe something different. We're the sheep that have taken the different path while everybody followed the same path. But very soon, everybody that's following the path is gonna follow the path, not the ones that the that veered off and did their own path follow. Okay, this is it. There are three purposeless versions of evolution. Bergson's creative evolution, where a vital living force called elan vital drives higher and higher states of evolution, but without reaching any definite end, no omega point. So that's saying there's no fucking end to anything. That's one of the purposeless version of evolution, which is what creation, Darwinism, scientific Darwinism says. There's no end to it. Some versions of orthogenic evolution, whereby evolution continues upwards linearly, but not towards any specific goal. Darwinian evolution by genetic mutation and natural selection. This is aesthetic, scientific materialist approach. Nothing is striving to achieve any appointed end. There's no mind at work. Illuminism belongs to the purposeful, teleological school of thinking. It's based on concept of the universe as a self-solving, self-optimizing mathematical equation with infinite nodes, monads, souls. The cosmic equation with a perfect solution, a mathematical omega point, and this is arrived at through dialectical convergence. Oh, man. That's the answer to everything. That's what's happening. Dialectical convergence. How we're dialectically converging on the omega point. And the universe is a self-optimizing mathematical equation with infinite nodes, which are monads and minds and souls. And, we're each equal creators, actually, in this. That we're all infinite. Equal gods, just like the elite are, we're creating just like they are. So we need Illuminism is the purposeful explanation to existence, and it is the new paradigm. So I'm just like I have a lot of I'm learning how to withhold all this information and get it out little by little, because I know how important it is. Because once this goes 100th monkey, once this goes viral, part of my story is being a super soldier, what it is to be a super soldier. Part of being a super soldier is becoming fully conscious and fully aware of reality. That's actually what a real super soldier is. And, which is what all the other masters, mystics, all the people, world historic people of the past have done, is actually just become fully aware. So, and that's the process of becoming God. That is the hero's journey, and that is the great work. So until next time, I'm gonna continue on with the omega point, because that was a good topic, the omega point. Just as every other topic, I'm talking about dreams and dream mancers and people that can change things and change reality in dreams, and dream seeker societies, and different forms of government and different forms of economics and consciousness, and explaining all the old bad stuff that's the old way of thought, and just bringing in new realms of thought that is hope, that brings hope and inspiration, because that's actually what I've discovered here, is the knowledge, the keeping of the knowledge from people is what is keeping this reality the way it is, keeping the hope and inspiration out, and actually keeping us from being able to create a whole new world. So that's what I'm here for, is to to create a whole new world, just like Aladdin. So until next time, bye, Cameron.